How do you protect yourself from negative thinking? I'm going to give you such a great tip today. Now, number one, you can't protect yourself from all negative thinking. It's natural, it's normal, it's part of us. But we are, as humans, in our DNA, we are really geared overly to negative, to seeking out the negative, to seeing the negative in things, all that. And I can give you all the research on it. If you want it, comment below and I'm happy to chime in. But here's what you do to help it. To get yourself in a better place. And I think of it as a money in the bank system, because what's happening all day is that you are experiencing things that are positive, but you're not putting them in a positive column. You're putting them in the neutral column. So if your car starts in the morning, you don't think, oh, that's so great, my car started, great, wonderful, and kind of go, that's a win, my car started. But if your car didn't start in the morning for some reason, and I think we've all had that experience, you feel like, oh my gosh, my day is ruined. Oh, I got to cancel this meeting. What am I going to do? Who do I have to call? And it really affects our day in a negative way. Well, that's not really fair, because when it was doing its positive thing, it didn't affect us in a positive way. And this happens in all kinds of ways. If I'm a little thirsty right now and I take a sip of water, guess what? But if there was no water and I was thirsty, it's all I would think about, and it would feel very negative. So do you see what I mean? You're taking things that are neutral and putting them in the positive column. Author Chade Mang Tan calls this thin slices of joy, and I love that. So I sort of call the tool thin slicing. So, and you're not going to go like, oh, my car started, oh, my day is amazing. There's nothing, you're not going to do anything ridiculous, but in the mornings when my car starts, her name is Grace. When I get in there, I'm like, hey, Grace, how you doing? And I have a little moment of just appreciating that the car started. Like, oh, I'm so glad I have such a reliable car. It feels good. And so what happens is you're banking these sort of more positive things, and you're feeling more positive during the day. And trust me, you will. And you don't have to do it every second. Don't get ridiculous. But in general, if you keep noticing the good, and your brain will start doing that work for you, because your brain works on recency and frequency. So the more frequently you do something, the brain will try to remember it because it thinks it's important. And the more frequently you do something, same thing. So if you put thin slicing in your day, like maybe set reminders on your phone to like check in with yourself about good things that are happening, your brain will start to tell you itself. It'll be like, hey, that was good, put that in the win column. So what happens in general is that when we know from the research that for pretty much every 3 positive things that happen in our life, it only takes 1 negative thing to wipe that out. It's so skewed. It's so unfair. So when you're adding into the positive column, think of it like a bank account. Like you're just, oh, my car started and I was hungry and I got to eat this really good thing. And oh my gosh, this cookie I wanted and I got this cookie that was so good. And oh, I kissed my partner this morning, whatever. It doesn't, again, it shouldn't be something huge. It's just the natural things that happen all day that are good, that are should be in the win. When that happens, think of it as putting like money in the bank. So then when you make a withdrawal, when something negative does happen, you've got more money in the bank. You've got more good in the bank. And those negative things will hit you less. They will have less weight. They won't feel as important, and they won't last as long. So it's not like they'll never happen. Of course you'll feel something. If something bad happens, of course you'll feel bad. But it won't ruin your day, or what we call this kind of like a generalization or catastrophizing. You'll be able to step away from that. So try these thin slices of joy, and I'd love to hear how they work.